I think that would be a good place, to start before we get into the other work that you have done. How is that the process of creating a short film? How is that different from you creating a full length feature? Because people always, I talk to directors and other people, they talk about how they really is a different experience, the production process for creating a short film. Sometimes they talk about how there's more work that goes into that. But for you, from you doing three, four, what has your experience been like?
The thing is, a short film doesn't take any less work than a feature length.
Okay.
It's just that it gives you enough room to experiment.
Mm.
For a feature length has a lot of budget or more budget attached to it,
Okay.
and not necessarily true, depending on the sort of production you're working on. Though, but
Mm.
the whole point of a short film is that you can experiment.
Mm.
Do what you want. If you don't have all the money to do a big project
Mm.
that goes to the cinema or go to African Magic or what have you,
Yeah.
but you can always call your friends together, put something together, and if you have an idea that
Mm.
might be difficult to sell to a producer, you can
Mm.
put together a short film within that concept and
Mm.
then sell it to the producer. Yeah, you watch
Okay,
this and
okay.
watch this and see if you will like it. So
Mm.
that's the whole point. That's one major advantage of the
Of the
short
short
film
film,
genre.
okay.
It's not necessarily a genre in itself. It's just
Yeah,
short.
it's kind of like a form.
It's a form,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
a form,
give
and
you
the ease with which it is told. Some of the best films you have today
Mm.
come from the short film, from
Yeah.
projects from film schools and
Mhm,
projects from
mhm, mhm.
conventional universities and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of that short film
Mm.
aspect. It's the financing,
Mhm.
the flexibility, and the autonomy in which you have to tell your story.
The autonomy as a director,
As a director,
writer,
as a storyteller, as a producer, whatever.
and all of that. Okay, so we are good with the advantages. Let's come to now the training, because we have. I think that's one of the problems that usually the industry has. Most people.
I came from a mathematics background.
Oh, really?
Yes, I actually went
Okay.
to film school after I had my MSc in mathematics,
Oh.
in statistics precisely.
Okay.
So I've always loved film,
Mm.
drama, and whatnot. So and my mom loves African Magic and Nigerian movies. In the
Well, all
movie
mothers
industry.
do.
so every time she's watching a film, I'm always watching it. I'm like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And she was like, dude, just go and do your
Sit
own
down,
thing. Do your own thing and come up with
And
something
do-
and let's do it. And I said, okay, fine. So when I was ready to go to a film school, she was actually one of my major, supporters,
you.
encouragers. So I went to MMA. So I mean, it doesn't really get better than
Doesn't,
Academy,
doesn't.
really.
Mhm.
So I went there and I had the advantage or the blessing. Should I say I was blessed with a lot of tutors, very good tutors. Akin Tijani Balogun,
Okay.
Kenny, and the likes of them. They really had this. I thought, coming from a mathematics background, I'm going to do film. I've done drama. I did drama all the while I was in university. So it will be just I'll just jaywalk through film school. But it wasn't like that. It
Yeah,
turned out it was
there's a
tougher.
difference.
It was tougher. It got a point during the 3 months I spent there. I called home and my dad said I was complaining at how tough, because the assignments, the work, the practicals, and everything that goes with it. And my dad said, "What did you think we were going to do there in the first place?
So you're good
What did you think it was going to be? What did you think it was going to be?" So it was like that. So I had the opportunity of going through that training because I know there are a lot of good filmmakers out there who never went to film school. That's the truth. The
Yeah.
truth is there are. The likes of Quentin Tarantino and the likes
Yeah,
of them,
definitely.
they never went to
They
film
didn't
school.
go
It's
to-
truth. But I didn't want to delude myself. I had no art background. Like I said, I'm from the sciences. So I had to go through that effort to study how this thing was made. That was why I went through that. And I came out, and I'm lucky to have done that because it has helped me. It has shaped my thinking as a storyteller. It has helped my development as an artist generally.
Okay.
So that was that.
Okay, so that was some of the main things that you gained from working with MM.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've always wanted to do the arts, but parents being parents, they have this plan for you that doesn't necessarily go with your idea. So my dad told me the other day, Steve, you do science, because I was actually good with science. I was good at mathematics. I was good in physics. So
I
he
never
like-
was.
So he was like, and I was good in the arts too. But my personal passion was the arts. So he was like, look, you do sciences. If eventually you decide you want to be an artist, you can always
Do
go
that
to do an artist.
later.
But if you do the art and decide you want to do sciences, that might be difficult for you to do so. And it has that advice has paid off, recently, because the switch is not that, it's not a two-way street. It's a one-way street as it is.
Yeah.
And so About storytelling. Well, my second year in the university, a group of friends were putting together stage plays. There's a theater troupe, and then they said, "Steve, let's go." I was in the martial arts group, and most of them were in the theater troupe. I never knew about the theater troupe, so one of the days they said, "Steve, come on, join us. We putting together a production. The girls are not to blame. Olaratim's play." So I went there fresh. They did one the previous year. There was one 100 level. I didn't know anything about it. So when 200 level, they said I should join them. So I got there, and then we had this intense campaign for rehearsals and all that during the holidays between the first and second semester. And I did that, and I was able to land myself the role of Adiropo.
Oh, okay.
You know,
That's a major role.
You know, I was like, wow, okay. So if I can't do this, I was able to land myself. It was an intense.
And on your first attempt.
My first attempt. So I was able to land myself that. And I was like, okay, this is something I think I can do. So from there on, I spent the rest of my years in university in the theater troupe. So from there, stage acting, and as a matter, you know, you can understand
So did that interfere with your studies at all?
It did interfere with my studies. Not because I'm a believer in if you're doing something, do it very well. Yeah. And mathematics, in a sense, it requires your 100% attention. So, but then I had that struggle within. You know, I had to do this or I had to do that. And you never tell which one we go, but I did that, and I have my MSc today. You know, I'm on my way to do my PhD, so that's no problem. There's no problem there. So, the thing there is, doing that, I realized, okay, I am good with this. I am good with it. It wasn't an idea. It wasn't a concept I had in mind. So I said, okay, fine. I'm going to go to a film school while I was in university, but I couldn't get the time because of my courses, because of my studies. I couldn't get the time to get myself away from my studies to go to film school. So I said I was going to do that in university, undergraduate. I didn't do that, so I was going to do that before my masters. I couldn't do it. So immediately after my masters, I said, if I don't do this now, I might not get it done. So I did that afterwards.
Okay, interesting stuff. I know that
I do plan to be in front of the camera, but I am never that. Big on being out there, being well. But I'm comfortable writing, directing. Don't get me wrong, I can act. But I'm comfortable doing that, and I feel I am actually better at that than acting. So I won't delude myself. Okay. The thing there is, the transition from stage to acting has helped me a lot. It helped me because when I got to the film school, I wasn't starting from scratch.
You knew something.
In fact, I went to the film school with some of my scripts from the stage play, because I wrote a few scripts too for the stage.
Okay.
So I went to the film school with some of my scripts from the stage play. I did a few productions in school, and they were very good. So I went to my film school, and I gave them to my first week in film school. I gave them to Anthony Kennedy, Joseph, and the likes of them, Claudia Sashi, my teachers in Maria's Academy, and they went through it. They were like, "This is good. But can you turn it to a film?" Now there is that difference there.
That's what I was coming to.
Stage is verbose. It's wordy.
There's a language.
It is a language. It's wordy. But film, in essence, is you can have a film without dialogue. Top to bottom. The film started without dialogue. Silent films and all of that. And then if you watch some of the best films are not built on dialogue. You understand? So it's act. Show don't tell. Film is integrated. Show don't tell. So I now had to tailor my writing towards film. So that helped me. It was not just taking lectures from classes. It was that practicality from converting my own stage play to my own screenplay. So it really helped my thinking as a filmmaker and a writer and director. So that technicality is there. So also I realized acting on stage also is you act for the audience to see. If you have 500, 1,000 people in the hall, you want the 1,000th person to hear you. So, but for film, it's not the same thing. For film, the subtlety is better, less is more. For film, it's the camera's job to pick up your action, the emotions, everything. So it's not yours to do it. So that is the problem some of us in this part of the world, especially in Hollywood, have had from transitioning from stage to film. Stage actors come in Hollywood, most importantly, stage actors come to film and they are shouting, and directors are wondering, "Okay, calm down. This is not the stage."
Because on the stage you have to project.
Yes, you have to project. So, "Okay, calm down. This is not. Just do it less. Just reduce it." So, and they don't really get that. So it's that. That's the difference. Other than that, storytelling is storytelling. the laws of storytelling is universal. Whether you're writing stage, prose, or you're writing for film, it doesn't matter.
It's not like there were like any major challenges for you making this transition, really.
There were challenges. There were challenges. The challenges was on learning the things I've learned before. You know, I make it sound because of time, but it's not as easy. It wasn't as easy as it sounds. It's on learning the things I've learned from stage, from coming from stage, and also mutilating my stage play to become
a screenplay.
The screenplay, it's difficult. It was challenging, really. That's the honest truth. So it's that thing. If you're ready to, most stage plays, this is another problem we have in this part of the world. Most stage actors, especially the very good ones, they're less likely to listen to a director who is not trained in the art of drama. Telling me, how dare you tell me how to do this thing?
I spent a number of years learning this.
Because they feel the stage is superior.
Exactly. The stage has this academic background, this academic integrity that goes with it. You understand? So so they feel like, what do you know about this? You know.
So there's always that conflict when they have to work with
the director. Yes.
Okay. Well, interesting stuff though. So now you're just.
It's important. I am a firm believer in training in conventional academics, but I'm also a firm believer in study. Whether you go to a film school or not.
Studying as well.
Study.
Yes, okay.
Read. There are a lot of works out there, that you can study. The likes of Quentin Tarantino and Tunde. I remember 2 years ago I was with Tunde Kelena, we were discussing film. And then he took me to his library and then showed me the books he's reading.
That he reads.
Whether you go to a film,
and that's education.
Education is important. There is no shortcut to this.
Well, yeah.
There is no shortcut to this. Education is very important. So whether you go to a film school or not, the truth is study. If I stayed with what I learned in film school, because there's not enough time in a film school to teach you what you need to know. Everything you need to know. That's the honest truth.
True.
So you have to learn, but you also have to have a passion for this work. It's not about the money. You also have to have a passion for the work. I mean, you have to pay your bills, yes, fine, but a passion for the work is also important.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Room 315. Of course, not the negative part of it. Today is World Mental Health Awareness Day. It's very important. And we don't have a lot of, whether psychological thrillers or psychological dramas, we don't have a lot of stories. And people are suffering. People are going through this process. But we don't have many storytellers that are telling this story. And I'm sure that's why that film was one of the films that won. Just that the film that won that, because we need to tell these stories. So what was it like working through you on the production team? What was it like creating that
it was fun, and it was very, very educating. Nia Kimona is one of the best directors in this country. Easily, you know, it's easily one of the best directors in this country, and working with him was an eye opener for me. Before Room 315 was picked, there were 3 other scripts, my script, and then Pastor Perennial, and Room 315. I remember I was dating a girl at the time. I remember telling her, if I wasn't in this competition, I would pick Room 315.
It was that good.
It was good. I was like, if I wasn't in this competition, I'll pick Room 315. And I learned some things that currently that I realized I didn't know at the time I was writing for that competition, where I realized Room 3151. There's some subtleties in storytelling that we are missing in my work. There's some nuances in storytelling that we're missing in my work. So, but the thing there is, Room 3151 also speaks to, like you said, a situation within the society currently that most people are not aware of, most people really don't care about, except if it's affecting them personally. So that's that. They're also making the film. The being on that set was, like I said, an eye opener for me. I met the DOP. I saw the way we worked, as in if I'm doing my own thing. How does this happen? How does this work? And all that. So I was privileged on being on that set, to be on the set and see Bebo Manuel do his thing, Tina Mba do his thing, Rego Drefa do his thing, and then I saw DPs and all of that do their thing. So it helps. It helped my knowledge of filmmaking. It wasn't just reading or practicals or film school or just I was in the world of filmmaking with one of the arguably the best directors in the country doing it. So it was really a blessing for me. It was good.
Have you seen Torn? Bimbo Manuel that was actually also a psychological drama. So I was thinking, what was it with Bimbo Manuel and
I
I think it's just about the portrayal.
He has a way of interpreting character.
Kind of aura.
He has this beautiful way of interpreting character
He does.
that he doesn't even struggle with it.
Effortlessly. You're right.
And that's just that.
All right. So interesting conversation really that we are having with Stephen Okonkwo. He's a filmmaker. I just call him all that because he's writing for film, he's directing, he's producing, and he's all forms as well. Full length features and also for short films as well. Now let's come back to short films. Not very popular. I think they're just beginning to gain.
Available. You mentioned Afrinole. Afrinole
Yeah,
is a platform
definitely.
for short films, for African short films. There's Alti Film Festival. They have a platform for that. There's also Nolly Festival that goes on with Smart Media in Lagos. You can do that. In Kido, the film you watched before we started this conversation was made when I went to screen one other short film at a forum, a Film Vision forum, sometimes last year. So I went to screen Witness Protection. They saw it. It was good. So.
Because that's why it was made the same year.
Yeah, so they decided, okay, let's make another. Can we make another one that speaks to something, another? So there are a lot of forums for this. My advice is you put together a good story. You put together a good production. Not necessarily expensive. Don't get good and expensive. They're not synonyms. You put together a good one, and you'll be able to get your film screened in a festival if you work at it.
Okay,
that's true.
Let's talk inspirations now. Of course, definitely as an artist, there's always somebody who had gone before you, who maybe not you look up to and had inspired you to get into the industry and that you work by as well. Do you have any such?
A lot of people inspired me to get into film. There are, I mentioned Quentin Tarantino, earlier. His films has this. He has this way of making film look easy. He does his story, and then you can tell it Quentin Tarantino. You can pick it Quentin Tarantino out of 1,000.
He's just special in his own way.
Special in his own way.
Special in his way.
So the thing is, a host of other film directors, James Cameron, and the likes of them have inspired my work in storytelling. Also, one other reason I walked into, or was particularly about doing this is from, like I mentioned, my stage. But I read a lot of plays. Okay. I read a lot of Nigerian prose, especially the pace setter prose. I read the pace setter period. I wrote the African. I read them. So I always wondered, why is it that we don't have that transition from our literature to film? I can count all the films, all the literature connected to film on a single hand. I can count them on a hand. So why don't we have that? That transition. If you watch the Hollywood, especially for instance, they have that a lot of adaptations from prose to screen, from play to screen and all that. So those are the things that have inspired me. Actually, telling my own story was also one of the things that made me want to do film. Okay. I discussed with Xavier a while back. I have a lot of proses unfinished. A lot of them unfinished.
Short stories,
the long stories, whatever. But I don't have that same problem when I'm writing a stage play or I'm writing a screenplay. I finish it. So it's that. So I'm still going to have to, to publish something soon. But that's that. So I find it's easier for me to put together a stage play, put together a screenplay. So those are the things that has helped. So James Cameron, Quentin Tarantino, the likes of
in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, Nia Kimalayo's what's it called? The Arbitration. I'm sure.
The Arbitration.
That's arguably one of his best.
Definitely.
Don't go and argue with somebody.
No. The Arbitration is.
That's one of his best works. So it's that. So Nia Kimalayo is the architect. Balogun, my mentor. He's one of those people that has inspired TK. Kelani has also has also been. So it's that. But mine is the ability. There's also this guy, CJ Obasi. Obasi. He presented recently.
Fiery Obasi.
Yeah. So the mentality that these people bring to to filmmaking gives me hope. I'm gonna say, okay, I can do like this, or I can do better than this, and this is what I'm talking about, you know. So those are the things that keep me going in the industry and give me hope for the industry.
Interesting stuff. You've talked about adaptation. I think that's something else really that needs